Can you imagine a world where your daily cup of coffee was a rare treat, or a simple phone call across the country cost a fortune? It sounds crazy, right? But just 60 years ago, in the 1960s, many things we take for granted were unimaginable luxuries. Today, we're going to travel back in time to uncover 15 everyday items that were once reserved for the wealthy. Stick around, because some of these will absolutely blow your mind, and the last one changed society forever. Let's start with something we all have in our pockets: a calculator. In the 1960s, a basic electronic calculator could cost over $1,000, which is more than $10,000 today. It was a hefty, desk-sized machine, not something you could just slip into your backpack. Businessmen and scientists were the only ones who could afford this revolutionary tech. Next up, air travel. Hopping on a plane for a weekend getaway feels normal now, but back then, it was the height of glamour and expense. A round-trip flight from New York to Los Angeles could set you back the equivalent of several $1,000s. People dressed in their Sunday best enjoyed multi-course meals on real china, and flying was an event in itself. It was a world away from today's budget airlines and cramped seats. How about something you probably used this morning? A hairdryer. The first handheld hairdryers in the 60s were clunky, not very powerful, and considered a premium beauty tool. Most women still went to the salon for a professional blowout or sat under large hooded dryers at home. Having your own personal, portable hairdryer was a real status symbol. Now, let's talk about food. Believe it or not, out-of-season fruit was a massive luxury. Want strawberries in December? Forget it, unless you were willing to pay a crazy price. Global shipping wasn't what it is today, so enjoying fresh produce year-round was something only the very rich could afford. Most families ate what was locally in season, and that was it. This next one is wild. Long-distance phone calls. Calling a relative in another state was a big deal. You'd often have to book the call through an operator, and the cost was astronomical. A 3-minute call could cost the equivalent of $20 or $30 today. People would write letters for anything that wasn't an emergency because talking on the phone for long was just too expensive. If you're enjoying this trip down memory lane, consider subscribing to the channel. We post new videos exploring fascinating history just like this every week. You won't want to miss what's coming up next. Alright, back to the 60s. Color television. While TVs were becoming more common, color sets were the new must-have gadget. But they were incredibly pricey, often costing a month's salary or more. Many families gathered at a neighbor's house just to catch a glimpse of shows broadcast in vibrant color. For most people, the world on TV remained black and white for years. Here's a simple one: bottled water. The idea of paying for water in a bottle would have seemed absurd to most people in the 1960s. Tap water was considered perfectly fine, and the bottled water industry was virtually non-existent. It was seen as a strange, unnecessary expense, a far cry from the billion-dollar industry it is today. Think about your kitchen. Do you have a microwave? In the 60s, the first domestic microwave ovens were introduced. They were enormous, weighed a ton, and cost thousands of dollars. They were a futuristic fantasy for the average household, more like something you'd see in a science fiction movie than in your own kitchen. What about a car with air conditioning? Today, it's a standard feature. But in the 1960s, car AC was a high-end option that could add a significant amount to the vehicle's price. On a hot summer day, most people just had to roll down the windows and hope for a breeze. Having a cool car was the ultimate sign of comfort and wealth. Number 10. A home dishwasher. While dishwashers existed, they were far from standard. They were an expensive appliance that many homes weren't even equipped to handle. For the vast majority of families, washing dishes by hand every single day was the norm. The convenience of just loading up a machine was a dream. Now it's starting to get even more surprising. Let's talk about personal computers. We're not talking laptops. We're talking about massive mainframes that filled entire rooms. Access to a computer was limited to universities, large corporations, and the government. The concept of a personal computer for your home was pure science fiction. How about a simple ballpoint pen? While they were invented earlier, cheap, disposable ballpoint pens weren't widespread until later. In the early 60s, many people still used fountain pens, which required bottles of ink and could be messy. A reliable, non-leaking ballpoint pen was a small but significant convenience that became more affordable as the decade went on. This one is a kitchen staple now. Pre-packaged, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. In the 1960s, you typically bought a whole chicken from the butcher. It was cheaper, but it meant you had to do all the work of cutting it up yourself. The convenience of buying just the parts you wanted, ready to cook, was a new and pricey concept. We're almost at the end, and these last two are game changers. Number 14 is the answering machine. The first answering machines were clunky, tape-based devices and were extremely expensive. They were mainly used by businesses or very wealthy individuals. For everyone else, missing a call meant hoping the person would try again later. And finally, the number one thing we take for granted that was an incredible luxury in the 1960s, the birth control pill. When it was approved in 1960, the pill was revolutionary, but it wasn't immediately accessible or affordable for everyone. It gave women unprecedented control over family planning and their futures. It changed the workforce, relationships, and the very fabric of society. It's not a gadget or a food, but its journey from a controversial luxury to a common prescription is one of the most impactful stories of the last century. So there you have it. From chicken to color TV, the world was a very different place. What surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow for more amazing stories from the past.